Gavin. Yo. What's the word? My name Vinnie Paz. You're listening to Knock 'em Out the Box. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic, left, right, left kid.
I got scared just now.
This is episode 85 because Billy said two. I thought
And then it was
five,
the
4, 3. But he counted two, so it threw me off. So I better get hype.
And then he hit us with the shooter guns.
And then he shoot him a Gavin.
Then he shoot him like 85.
Yes. Thank you. He was shooting McGavin me when we did the live John, and it was getting me bad. You know what I'm saying?
It's good. I like it.
It is. It's good.
I like because Billy's so laid back, and then he just gets, gets hyped quick.
I don't think Billy smokes weed. He looks high as a kite right now, and he's got a shit-eating grin. I don't know why, because he didn't bet. We're gonna start off with that.
Listen, life came at me fast last week, but can't bet them all. We're gonna do.
You just Ferris Bueller me?
Maybe.
Did you just Ferris Bueller me? He just life can come at you faster than me. Ferris Bueller me.
He just said you're Cameron.
But I'm smirking because I'm thinking about how we have tickets in hand.
We do.
Oh boy,
we do. What is gonna
lucky number 13?
The two of you. That's not gonna be good.
It's gonna be really good.
My Uber app better be hot to trot.
And guess what? I got a telly in the city.
Yeah.
I don't gotta travel.
What a nightmare.
It's gonna be. I'll definitely get thrown out of that hotel.
Oh yeah, that's
100%.
happening. All right. So should we start off with some news, because we had a busy weekend of fights, and we have another one coming up. So what we can do is talk about a few pieces of news and notes, and then we'll attack last weekend and this upcoming weekend. So
sure,
a lot of stuff going on.
Certainly,
high level guys fighting, and high level guys fighting each other in one case. Eddie Hearn has declared that he's interested in potentially signing Shakur Stevenson, as he's a free agent after his fight on July 6th. I think Shakur Stevenson is pound for pound top 5 already, maybe the best fighter in the world. And I think he's promoted terribly. A man of that stature, that resume, and that ability should be a huge star in America. I'm 50% agreeing with Eddie, 50% not. Shakur has to do things that create that. You have to create interest here. It's why Brendan and I will critique Tank on one hand and not on the other, because he gives you what you are paying for.
Sure.
Not against elite guys, but when you talk about fans that tune in a couple times a year to pay their money, and
you want to see some excitement.
And the guy we're talking about in Tank flew someone's head, and the guy looked dead for about 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not wrapped up in this sport the way we are, that's more entertaining than what Shakur is giving you. I think, Shakur's elite. He's in our top 10 pound for pound.
Bro, no one at that weight beats him.
I don't think so either.
Tank included.
The weird thing of the campaigning, it's really like, what is he going to do? And when is he going to move? It's like, all right, one more fight at 130. All right, one more fight at 130. Is he waiting? Are they waiting for the big fight at 35? And it seems like everyone is waiting for something.
Well, you got Shakur now at 35.
Right.
He'll be fighting Haratunian. We'll talk about that later.
We will. They still have him at 30 in the transnational.
Okay,
stuff.
Then they just haven't updated it, because he's he's got a belt at 35. So
right. Yeah, I guess what they're doing is, who was that? How did he win that belt? Who did he beat? I can't remember. I remember what this has been since the beginning of Knock 'em Out the Box. Has been this. I said in the beginning, when he and Mick Conlon came out of the amateurs, I'm not too sure about either of these guys.
Right.
And then as time moved on, I absolutely was sure about Mick Conlon, and I started saying, Shakur's very good, but he has to do more. And then he had a couple back-to-back wins where you and I we're on
Right.
board with this guy.
The De Los Santos fight was for the vacant WBC lightweight title.
Okay. So it's Shakur, Loma, Tank, and who's got the other belt at 35? Baranchek. Was that Navarrete fight at 135, correct?
Yeah, hold on. Oh, Shockey Foster. Oh no, that's at 30. Sorry. Um, at lightweight. Let me look. Anyway,
I mean, I have everything here. I have the
what?
you know.
Yeah,
We're looking. What are we looking for? 35 or 30? You want me to
35.
Yeah. So, it's Javante, Loma, um, Shakur,
Yeah.
William Zepeda, Isak.
Zepe-
Oh, Isak Cruz.
Isak Cruz. Yeah,
Well,
he beat
no, did he
Rolly.
get one
Yeah.
at 40? No, but
No,
that's a
Isak.
40. Didn't he go up to 140 to get that against Rolly?
I
These
thought
guys
it
are
was
all over the place.
they were all over the place. I thought it was at 35.
Morataya. Does Morataya have a belt, B?
No.
And then it drops, then it's Keyshawn, Frank Martin, Zawar Abdullayev, George. Is it Tank, Loma, Shakur? Does Zepeda have something?
No.
Are we sure there's not a vacant belt there?
Zepeda doesn't have anything.
So I think there's a vacant belt at 35 in one of the sanctioning bodies. I'm not sure. So yeah. What do you think about Shakur going with Eddie Hearn? And do you think that
I think it's a good idea. I think he should. I think it's definitely it's definitely the move to make. Yeah, by the way, Baranchik has a WBO. He beat Navarrete for a vacant belt.
right?
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think he should go there. I think that it would make, we'll talk about him later. Well, both guys later, but I think it would make it much easier to make the Zepeda fight because they both fight under they're both on Zepeda's under the Golden Boy DAZN banner.
Yeah.
If he moves over to Matchroom, I think that fight will get made quick.
Yeah.
I also think that Eddie is going to make his best efforts to
make fights.
And to make a Tank fight.
I do too.
Because I think that I mean, we've been calling for for years now that PBC is going to shut its doors. So
yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you're covering it in news yet. You like to surprise me with news. Okay.
I am. I know what you're going to say. The numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got them. So, hey, listen, another funny thing that shows how dumb we are. I said Baranchik has a belt at 135 when we started the conversation, and we're sitting around wondering why.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why we are. Transnational Boxing Rankings doesn't have him ranked in the top 10, and he's got a belt. So a place that I consistently champion in
it's not updating there.
And when I tell you, B, this isn't, I'm not looking at something from 4 weeks ago or 6 weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if they're not up. Sometimes shit looks wonky to me, and I'm like, wait, is this because of time constraints, or are they starting to get wonky?
Right.
Maybe they don't think. Maybe all those guys I named, they think Baranchik would lose to them. Of that top 10. It is heavy. It is a lot of guys there.
You're right. It's a lot of guys there, and Navarrete, I don't think was highly regarded at that weight. I believe he's going back down.
He's going right back down.
Right.
Because we talked about it last episode that they weren't even going to strip him. That his next fight.
He'll be able to make it.
His next fight is for that belt against.
Yeah, he'll make a defense within the.
Isn't it Valdez? Oscar Valdez?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said they're going to run that back, right?
That's what I think we covered last week. So this Devin Haney, I was going to say he won't go away. I don't mean that, he, you know what I mean by that.
Yes.
He won't stop. I'm not calling for the kid to go away and never fight again or whatever like that. But these guys won't stop. Did you see Zab Judah, Bill Haney, and Ryan Garcia on the Zoom call?
Yeah.
If your head wants to, guys, if you want your head to explode, find that and watch it because it's insufferable.
I didn't watch it.
I watched.
I saw that afterwards. Ryan is now he hates Zab.
I suppose I watched like 30 seconds of it. There's Zab and there's another dude, and in the 30 seconds I watched, it's only Bill Haney and Devin. I mean, Bill Haney and Ryan talking. And I don't and never will have anything bad to say about Zab Judah or any of the Judahs because they were really good to me when I met all of them. The other guy in the Zoom thing, I don't even know who he is.
It's Mill
And
City Boxing, I think.
okay.
He's got a podcast, decent Twitter, social media following. But go ahead.
Okay. Devin Haney has vowed to get revenge on Ryan Garcia in a rematch. I want to make him pay for the shit he did in the ring, out of the ring. However, I would love for my next fight to be Ryan Garcia. That's the fight I want to get back in blood. I want to cut myself off here and say, this is a guy who was saying in absolutes that he wasn't going to run it back with him very recently, and that chapter is over.
Yeah.
And da 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 da. So this kid's all over the place. Explaining why he's planning to sue Ryan Garcia. This whole situation has cost me money. I've lost money during the whole situation. He will pay for everything. I signed the contract for a fair fight where I'm clean and he's clean. He must pay for all that. He didn't hold up his side of the bargain, so he will pay. I want to get it back in blood in the ring, but also outside of the ring. I'm a businessman at the end of the day. Hey, look, Miguel Cotto took bricks to the head for a whole shot,
Right.
a whole fight, and never went after Margarito in regards to what he just beat him up
Right.
really bad and got his lick back.
How does one prove in like a civil court that like Garcia? I mean, unless he's severely injured, right?
No, you're absolutely right, B, because in guys, civil court is very different.
Yeah, they would have to like make it. I think it would be difficult for them to.
I do too. I do. First off, this whole situation has cost me money. We could just probably go a half hour on that bar right there.
Right.
You got a bag for the fight. You're not someone who fights 3-4 times a year.
No, and he already paid for the being overweight.
Correct.
I believe, right? Didn't he give him
Yeah.
$1.5 million
Yeah,
for being overweight?
Yeah,
That he agreed to,
that he
that he accepted,
that he
that was
accepted.
contracted.
Correct. So you can't do that. Then afterwards go back. You can absolutely say this guy pissed dirty. Fuck him. That's what I would say. You know what I'm saying? I would continue with he's a dirty fighter. I wouldn't stop that talk if it was me. But stop about he came in overweight. Then don't take the fight.
And don't take the fight. Which you're within your right not to.
You're within your right not to. Would people have pissed and moaned if he did it? Sure, but you can't you can't constantly talk about this. You can die in there. You can, but
yeah.
So if you believe that, and if you believe that those 3 pounds or trace amounts of ostarine, right, or why you kept getting hit by wide left hooks. This is really the reason I'm covering this, and we are covering this, is not because of what he's saying. There's a broad, this gets bigger than this. And that is, he thinks Ryan, let's just say they fight at 47 in a year. Okay. April of 2025. It's a huge fight to make money-wise.
Sure.
You and I don't care who wins it or not because wherever they fight, they're not the guys. It's a 40, it's a 47. They're not the guys. Neither one of them is.
No.
So when that happens at 47, right? If Ryan's alive by then, and he is clean for that fight, and he gets starched, this is what you're setting yourself up for. By convincing yourself that these are the reasons you got smashed.
Right.
It isn't, we already talked about how Haney and his father could have handled this the classy way, where everyone would have been on their side.
Absolutely.
A guy gets sparked out by an overweight, dirty fighter, and people still hate you. My guy, maybe it's you then.
Bro, you're doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong.
Hire a better publicist. Or whatever you got to do,
or don't be dumb, or speak properly.
Say it.
guys, I
I
went in
think
there, I worked my ass off. I'm a big kid. It was killing me to make 35. To be honest, it kind of killed me a little bit to make 40, but I did it. He came in overweight. I wanted to continue with the fight. He ended up pissing dirty. That's unfortunate. We
Ryan,
need to keep this sport clean. I want to fight him again, but he has to pay his, he has to pay for what he did via suspension, via financial.
well, if Devin if Devin's trying to sue this dude, he better get it in quick because there's going to be a bunch of other people suing him shortly. This Ryan Garcia. Apparently Jordan Plant is suing him. Caleb Plant's wife.
Yeah, because he's saying like foul things that you just
Foul
don't
things
say.
that I'm not going to repeat on
Neither am I.
a
Neither am I.
boxing podcast.
And Caleb
So-
is within his rights to beat shit down his leg if they
And
see each other in public. But that's tricky because they're professionals and he's a
Right.
known name and he's got
This-
money.
I think this kid Ryan is starting to, or already started, not starting. There is, the line, the blurred line between like reality and the cyber world or whatever.
The
And this
work
kid,
has become a shoot, B. The work has become a shoot.
yeah,
It's like, have you ever listened to
I've heard that term. Yeah,
Have you ever heard Hulk Hogan speak at length? You're like, he's insane. He really believes
yeah,
all this. He's now been lying for 45 years to
right,
the point where that is now his reality. The
right,
Perry Belay is dead. Hulk Hogan is, and all of that, and the stories. The guy says he could have been the bass player for Metallica with a straight face.
right. That
You know,
that he had what minor league baseball tryouts, and there's no
yes,
record of him even playing in high school.
correct.
Yeah,
It's so you're now that's what you're touching on with Ryan.
right.
The reality said bye-bye to this kid however long ago. He the more look, tweeting's one thing, but interviews and when you read people, their movements, their eyes,
Yeah.
things, he's off.
Oh, he's definitely off.
The
And
the little 30-second clip I told you that I watched of him and Haney's dad, he's not all there, B. And
no,
it's
and it appears like he'll do one of those things that you described. And then like 7 minutes later, go on Twitter and be like, fuck Bill Haney, that fucking, after like
correct.
like, you know what I
Correct.
mean? Like, and it's like,
Correct.
what the fuck is wrong with this dude?
Correct.
And yeah, anyway, what I was getting at is he's beginning to get checked for all this stuff is what's happening. And I think it's only going to get worse, feed into his mania and come crashing down. I don't see a good end to this.
We're into July. I said from around the time of the fight, which was April, correct? It was late April.
Mm-hmm.
I said I would be surprised if he's alive a year from now, meaning then when that was. That of course is not me wishing that. You know what I mean? I want this kid to get his head together, his life together, never do that again, and be at least a fun fighter. One of those type of guys, you know what I mean? Because we agree he's not elite, and he can't beat elite guys. Tank sparked him clean out, but can he be a fun fighter that makes money and makes fun fights? Absolutely. If he's got his head right and he's not on, we don't want to say things here that could be perceived as libel. Something's off. The possibility of mental illness is absolutely there. Could there be things contributing to that we don't want to say on air? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty obvious, and it
is to me. It is to me.
But he's also completely deluded.
Yeah,
Or he's not. Constant talk about the hand. Say whatever you want about you cheated without the drugs, dude. You without the trace amounts of Ostarine or whatever the fuck was in his system.
Right.
You came in 3 pounds heavy. I have
and knew it.
He's so there is
he did the Floyd Marquez thing.
Right.
Made a guy make a weight when you knew you weren't going to make it.
Right. And I got pretty good information weeks ago and I didn't say anything, but now it's coming out. So are you familiar with the guy he's talking about, Scooter? He's the co-author of LL Cool J's fitness book. He's got
I'm hip to who he is.
Yeah. So he's basically saying that the guy's name is Dave Honig. He's saying that they went to him, and this is the guy that tainted his supplements. And I got good information that says that Garcia was upwards of 12 to 15 pounds overweight, like 3 or 4 days out. And they asked around the industry and they said, who could help me make weight? And it was this guy, Scooter.
Mm-hmm.
Scooter's helped dozens upon dozens of fighters, athletes, etc. make weight. He's got a brand.
No, his name is people. He can stand on his name.
Absolutely.
10 toes down.
And they're scapegoating this guy.
Of course, yeah. I mean, yeah. There
And
seems to be a pattern.
Trying to ruin his life.
Of course.
This is what I'm saying. Like, this Garcia kid is a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit, and he's a loose cannon on top of being a piece of shit. No one's taking his phone away.
Well,
no one's getting in the phone and changing his password.
Vinny, when they're all feeding off the teat.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's Mike Tyson shit. It's a small version of
it's Trump shit, Mike Tyson shit. It's fucking it's just, this thing's now out of control.
Yeah, when you have so many barnacles and they're feeding from the teat, as you said, and there's enough barnacles to go. When they're alone, when he leaves the room, this kid's bad shit crazy. But no one cares enough. It's Kanye shit. No one cares enough to go, okay, these records keep coming out. These records keep doing well. These tours are generating millions. No different here. The pay-per-views generate millions. The fight itself generates millions. When, prior to popping dirty, he was, what commercial was he in? Wasn't it with Dame Lillard? Dame Dollar and Heaven was that's big money, bro.
Sure.
When you get into that world, you start making more money there than you do in the ring.
Absolutely.
So I believe it was Gatorade, but I could be wrong. It was definitely one of those type of drinks, not energy, like the ones that have the electrolytes. It was like one of those type of commercials. And I was like, oh shit. Garcia, like I knew Garcia was a star within a world, meaning like, like little girls on Instagram. You know what I mean? Yeah. When you give someone that's rarefied air. That's Canelo air.
Right.
Like, yo, I'm doing a beer commercial. That's like Canelo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm just looking now to see how many. He's got 12.5 million Instagram followers as a boxer.
Yeah. Not an elite one. So this isn't a guy with an elite win.
No.
Certainly not. His best win is certainly Haney, who you and I don't hold in high regard, and he cheated.
And he cheated in two different ways.
I know where you want to go with this next piece of news, so let me just say it, and we'll tackle the rest of it when we break the fights down. Because I know you're going to want to cut a promo.
All right.
Teofimo Lopez versus Brian Norman could happen next for the WBO welterweight world title. Bob Arum has said. Norman currently has an interim belt, which I didn't even know, but likely to be upgraded as Bud has been moved up, giving Teofimo a chance to become 3-time world champion. We'll get into that when I know. It's we're really starting to play Adrian Broner games here. When it comes but we'll cover that. Imantas Stanionis versus Mario Barrios is reportedly being explored for a potential WBA and WBC welterweight world title unification fight, though Barrios remains in talks to potentially fight Manny Pacquiao next. Stanionis has signed an extension with PBC. Mario Barrios, who we both like a lot, like as a guy, we just like that kid.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's a cool kid, and he's a good kid. You definitely take the Manny bag if you can, because that's what you're in the sport for. You're young,
right?
And Stanionis will be there. But I like that fight a lot, Stanionis,
absolutely.
Barrios. The Pacquiao thing be like
novelty.
When him and Floyd dip their toe in, I'm kind of like, can you guys leave people alone?
But right,
go away, but then you want a kid like Mario Barrios to get a bag, and he might get $3 million for that or something, rather than
I'll be honest with you,
600,000 to fight
I'll be rooting for Mario Barrios to beat the shit out of Pacquiao if they fight.
I think I would be
Like,
too, but
yeah,
I like Mario Barrios. I just wish
but just go away.
I just go away, man, because you're not these guys aren't fighting at these ages in the manner that Archie Moore did or the manner that Bernard Hopkins did, where you go,
Yeah,
yo, this guy's 46, 47, but he's in there against a real
the
guy,
best guy in the
the
division.
best guy in the division,
Yeah,
and winning Ring Magazine titles at that. Archie Moore and Bernard were doing that. If you
and
want to
Big
throw,
George.
if you want
Yeah,
to throw Big George in there, we did it at 45 and hung
yeah,
around till 46 or 47. That's you saying, I believe I can still do this, compete on a high level. Again,
right.
that Pacquiao's not coming in here saying who's the best guy at 47. I want Boots Ennis to see what you know what I mean, and making
Yeah,
Boots. So I would like to see Stan Jonas Barrios. I'd like to see the Manny thing not come to fruition, other than it would be cool for Barrios to get a bag, but that
yeah.
we're not about that.
I'd rather see the standing. I like
Me
that
too. Me
Stanios fight.
too. If we're talking
I hope that comes off.
if we're talking about what's best for boxing and what's best for this show, that's what's best. And we're talking
For real.
about we really like Mario Barrios and he's got a family and a few million to fight Pacquiao is great for that. I wouldn't be mad because of him, but I have no interest in that. None,
Sure.
zero.
Me neither.
Shakur Stevenson has branded Gervonta Davis a casual after he suggested Shakur would run in their fight. Tank is a casual. We got to be honest. You can be a special boxer, but not really have the boxing knowledge. He fought Rolly Romero and Isaac Cruz. When they fought each other, he picked Rolly to win because of the power. That's a casual opinion. Gervonta Davis is a good fighter, but he's a casual. He's going to say what casuals say.
It's
we always
great.
it is, and we always talk about how we hate when people use that word, but when a fighter's using it, it kind of cracks me
Against
up.
another fighter
Another fighter, it
that
kind of
people
cracks
have
up.
in their pound for pound top 10. I like it.
Correct. And he brought something up, B, that I brought up on probably this is 85 our episodes. I probably brought it up half of the time that we both know fighters, pro fighters
Who don't watch
who
boxing.
don't watch or know boxing.
Yeah.
They just were in a gym young and this came natural.
And they were good at it.
And they were good at it. And I followed that up. So it doesn't seem like I'm just picking on them. I'd say a personal of people I know in real life. Okay. One of the 5 best rappers I know in real life would be like, what's that? If you were like, yo, Public Enemy, Nation of Millions, he'd be like, I don't know what that is. Is that a movie? So it's this dude just
Yeah.
somehow was talented from being on the block, being around, and you were just
Yeah.
naturally. It's the girl in choir that never sung, and she starts hitting notes the first day of
Right.
class, and you're like, oh shit, I never knew that this was my thing. It's
Yeah.
so I don't have don't sit guys don't sit home now listening to this saying, oh he's being a weirdo. You can't be a fighter and be a casual fan and not understand the intricacies. You absolutely can. I've met them. I've talked boxing with guys who have been real guys. I'm talking guys on HBO, Showtime,
Yeah,
type
so have
guys
I.
that don't know shit about the sport. Lastly, Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin reportedly did between 325 and 350,000 US pay-per-view buys. Guys, no matter how you slice and dice it, no matter how much you sweat Tank, no matter how much you sweat PBC and you're part of that cult, that's a massive, massive flop. Real stars, I'm doing air quotes, faces of boxing, like he likes to call himself, and people like to call him his acolytes like to call him the face of boxing, 1 million. That's your number.
Yeah.
If you think I'm bugging, how much if you remember, B, I'm just gonna throw this out here. It could be rhetorical. If you have a guess, take it out there. Do you know what Ryan Garcia Tank Davis did? Do you remember?
1.4, right?
1.2. US. In US, it might have done another 200,000
Right.
globally or 500,000 globally. So now you start getting down to the real brass tacks here. Who's the star? Not who's the cheater, not who took drugs, not who came in overweight. And this all applies to the Haney shit too, when they run it back, assuming nothing bad happens to either one of them, because they're both mental patients. If in 10 months they run it back, right? In April of 2025, remember that without Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis does 325,000 views, buys in
Right.
the US. With Ryan Garcia, he does 3 times that or more with 1.2
Look,
million.
man.
You remember it being 1.4.
No,
That
yeah.
kid, for whatever reason, okay, I don't know why. It's because of our age, probably, B, is a fucking star. He's in. Do you remember what it was or no? The one with Dame Dollar. Is it
I
Gatorade?
don't, but
I
yeah,
think it's Gatorade. I think it's
bro.
Gatorade.
He's a good-looking guy who marketed the shit out of himself
Yes.
close to 10 years ago when he
Yes.
was an amateur still.
Yes.
On social media, hitting mitts in his garage, built a
Yep.
following. And I remember
Yep.
it was like, holy shit, this kid has 50,000 followers.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? This kid has 100,000 followers.
Yeah, and then you go, wait,
250,000
this guy's got 1 million
got
followers.
a million
I
followers.
remember when he hit 1 million, and we were like, "Yo, this guy's not even like a thing yet. What is
No.
happening
And
here?" And I guess the fast hands thing, and
yeah, he's a
that,
heartthrob.
yeah, and like, yo, girls are losing their minds over him. He's
Right.
Latino. There hasn't been a guy like that really since Oscar.
No,
When
he's
Oscar was the golden boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you could hear girls when he would score a knockdown or knock out and actually audibly hear girls. I was like, what is and
like
I'm
the
going,
fucking Beatles.
Yeah, 92, 93, 94,
Yeah.
95, those first early, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He started he was so good and started beating such really good guys that he then became part of this world, which is, he's a real fucking fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Not saying he wasn't a real fighter winning the Olympic gold, of course.
Right.
There was definitely like, oh,
but
it was all, kid.
But it was all that buildup. It was the Olympic gold.
Yes.
Then they, slicing and dicing through weights, moving up, hurting people, beating legends.
Yeah, beating the first Chavez fight when everyone was, really hated him because it's the Pocho, which is like a fake Mexican, which is not true. He's from fucking East LA, and it's fluent in both languages. I always hated that.
Right.
He got killed for that.
Well, he's American.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we would call him Mexican, but Mexicans are like, nah, man, you're from over there.
No, absolutely. But like a Pocho doesn't even speak Spanish. He's fluent. His Spanish is perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you want out of your people.
But,
and they were having it against Chavez. And it's called he beat an old Chavez. Chavez was not as old as you think when he beat him. He had been through a lot of wars and a ton of fights.
No, and Oscar kicked his ass.
Yeah, and he destroyed him. He destroyed him the second time.
Right.
And then Oscar started, fighting guys like Tito, and he just fought everybody. Shane, he fought everybody.
He realized, look, man, I make a lot more money fighting these guys.
Yes.
Then I want to fight them.
But guys, this isn't what's going to happen with Ryan Garcia because Oscar was great.
Well, and Ryan Garcia is not that good.
Right. But Oscar was. So what are we going to see here? Is it just going to be sideshow Broner shit moving forward? Because he knows he can mollywop Haney again. So there's one down, and that's in a year.
Yeah, you know what,
then
dude?
What does he do?
Yes, I was going to say this before. This is, you could criticize the Paul brothers or whatever, but these guys are now doing what those guys are doing. These are real fighters now taking that script.
Devin Haney,
Haney's
Ryan Garcia too is absolutely, to me,
sideshow
no different than a Jake Paul fight. To me. There's neither one of them, because they'll do it at 47. Neither one of them will be top 10 there.
No.
Neither one of them could beat any of those good guys at 47. If we look at who's at 47, because they're both going there, because they're both big kids and they're young.
Right.
Do you agree with that? Regardless of what happens,
100%, I don't disagree with that.
Et cetera, et cetera,
I agree with it. Yeah, I agree.
Guys are going to end up at 47, even if they don't fight each other. Boots is there, Cody Crowley, Barrios.
They shouldn't even. I don't even want to see like a weight class when they fight. They should just
agreed.
Maybe one glove on, one glove off.
Agreed. Go full Carney.
Right.
Because you're not. This isn't a go full Carney. Have Trump fight Biden on the undercard,
right?
With fists,
right.
Not a debate.
But like mini Trump and mini Biden. You know what I mean? Like get
midgets. Yeah, midgets that look like them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm just looking at people. I think Roman Villa, Alexis Rocha, Giovanni Santillan, Stan Jonas. I think they mop those guys up. and they're,
It's
you know,
it's funny when you start doing that, you're like, I don't really think either one of these guys beats any of those guys.
and I
Right.
don't. I pick
That's what I'm
everyone
saying.
I just rattled off. I'm
No,
like,
you,
no,
you
I think
go,
I would pick all of them to be both of those guys.
right. You go, Again, we talked about, I think, 2 or 3 episodes ago. They have nowhere to go.
No, especially,
They only have each other.
especially Devin.
They're now in this like abusive, toxic relationship
Yep.
with each other. And
I think us talking about them having nowhere to go is really, we were really the first people to say it, and then build on it.
yeah, I mean, if
Where
you
do you
like,
go? It's
where do you
impossible
go?
physically to go back down to 35
Unless,
when you're the bigger guy.
unless you change and you turn your attitude about losses, wins, what it means, what it doesn't mean. But we know it's not going to happen with Devin Haney. This is a guy championing and dancing that he
Yes, in a
still
bowling
has.
alley that he still has an O after getting flat and face first.
Right. I get going, okay, I'm glad it went to a no decision. What's fair is fair.
We spoke about it on the last episode. There were so many ways to handle this where you came out the good guy. And
To be like, I got my O bet. Dude, bro, no one cares.
no one cared. But not only does no one care, we all saw you get flattened and knocked around. So
Bro,
you
you
think
got the
people
shit
forgot?
beat out of you. Now, you got the shit beat out of you by a 2-time cheat.
Yes,
Okay. But you still got the shit beat out of you.
absolutely.
And we all saw it.
Do you
Is that fair? No.
No.
It's not fair, but you still got fucked up.
143-pound Ryan Garcia with trace amounts of ostarine does not do that to any other top guy at 40.
No.
He gets battered by them 3 pounds heavier.
Right.
We just saw our guy Matias lose. He beats both of them in the same night after the loss.
Right.
Liam Paro beats both of them up.
Right.
143-pound gill to the gills on juice. Ryan Garcia gets beat up by Liam Paro and Subriel Matias.
Right.
Lamont Roach, Fergal McCoy on Pro Box. We predicted that they were going to get started to get championship fights and solid fights,
and they got it.
They got it. Hey,
Fergal McCoy. I did not watch this.
I did.
You did? Okay.
Fergal McCoy.
McCrory. I spelled it wrong. That's my fault. It's McCrory.
Tough.
Fergal McCrory.
He was getting dog walked and kept getting up. I spoke to Steve Kim about this, and this stuff gets tricky, B, where a fighter looks great against a guy that's not great, but you still love the stuff that they did and that you saw. So I'm not saying that Lamont Roach was in there with a world beater, but everything he was doing was crisp, short shots. He looks way better than his last fight. He's improving. The guy that comes in with his dog that we were like, I never want to see him again. The guy
Liam Paro beat.
Yeah. Montana Love.
Yeah.
Lamont Roach was eking into Montana Love territory for me personally, where I was like,
okay,
I don't know if I want to see, like, you know, that feeling you get?
Yeah.
Not that I wish anything bad on him, but I don't really care.
But you really haven't earned this.
Correct.
This level of arrogance.
And for me, Lamont Roach, I was wrong about a lot of things about him. His in-ring ability, and the way he carries himself outside of the ring, I was off. And if I knew him on any level and had the opportunity to tell him that I was wrong about him, I would take it.
I mean, he definitely listens to the show, so he'll hear it.
No, I'm being serious though. I took him as one of those brash, arrogant guys. More humble he could not be. He dog walked a really tough guy. I'm not talking about a skilled guy, but a really tough guy. I'm talking this guy's fucking head was getting flown around big. And then it would lead to his head getting flown around, to him getting dropped, and this sick maniac kept getting up. Um,
So now
Lamont,
he's got a junior lightweight strap.
look, Lamont
130.
Roach is really good.
Okay.
But again, this is tricky. What you love what you see against a guy that's limited, and the knee-jerk reaction for you, because I know you didn't watch it, is to say, well, Vin, he did it against Fergal McCrory. And I said, yes, I know, but I like what I saw. I like what he was doing. I like the way he was throwing 3 jabs. He was going downstairs. He was throwing uppercuts. We want some trainers to talk right in and say, why do people abandon the jab? You know, I think the uppercut is somewhat it's going the way of the dinosaurs. We're going to talk about someone who landed a beautiful one in a minute, but I believe that I believe that it's a deadly shot, and I think because when it's used wrong and you're throwing it maybe possibly from the outside, what can happen to you?
You can get countered really bad.
Get countered really bad and get done dirty. But if you can get in someone's chest and rip it, it's still there and it's still a deadly shot. And am I wrong to say that the tank Leo Santa Cruz was an uppercut, that shot? Or no?
Yeah, it was Tank
Okay.
was one of the best ones. Yeah, in the game. Yes, that was an uppercut. He took a shot, then slipped a shot, then came back with the uppercut. Yeah.
So bottom line, because we're not going to stay on it long. Bottom line is Lamont Roach looked really good and much improved. So I just really want to see him in there against a real guy. I mean, Fergal McCrory isn't I don't know that you should be fighting for um a strap. Also, me and Lord Scotch Keo, what up, man? We're talking about there was, of course, when on Irish fighter fights they traveled, they were in a bad part of DMV. Like that part, you
Yeah.
don't really want to go there.
Okay.
And these Irish were in there deep. So
Friegel McCrory's his entourage.
no, like just Irish people. I think
Oh.
Irish people from New York came down. Like there's a lot of Irish people there.
Mm.
And we were talking like that where that fight was held is not a place you want to be. That area. So let's talk about another guy we like a lot, Sonny Edwards, Adrian Curiel. There's something interesting in watching how good Sonny Edwards is and comparatively what Bam did to him.
Yeah.
And then how good Sonny Edwards. It's watching some Bud Crawford and Inoue do someone dirty who is like
who's really good.
Steph, who's really good,
Right.
and it's crazy how good Sonny Edwards. It's the best I've seen Sonny Edwards look in a minute. Not that Adrian Curiel isn't limited, he is.
Right.
He's a perfect opponent for a guy like Sonny, and it's probably why they picked him. We both know that. We need him to come back against a guy who's just going to walk forward.
Yeah.
Sonny can box his ears off, throw 3-punch combinations, then dance. Sonny's in a rare place, B, where he can't crack an egg, and I enjoy watching him.
Yeah, he's
just, I find him entertaining.
I just like him. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I like Sonny Edwards. I like him as a person.
Yeah.
I like
he's good on the mic.
I like when they give him the mic to talk post fight. I like when they give him the mic when he's at a fight and they just go call this fight with us or call this round with us.
Right.
I just like him. I think he's funny. He's got that shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
He's got that real dry UK
British
sense of humor. He's real dry with it. That cut's really bad. I fear for him moving forward because of what it is.
A fucking nasty cut.
It's as bad as the Tim Tszyu cut, but I don't think Tim Tszyu will ever get punched there ever again in his career on the top of his head. Sonny Edwards is going to get jabbed in this eye for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I hope they get it. I hope they get it closed up.
So do I. I saw the stitches. It was gruesome.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it was really bad. I like Sonny. He looked good. He won every round to me. There was some goofy shit going on again, B. We have to mention it when it happens. Some people gave Curiel a bunch of rounds of the ones that it made. When was it stopped? The 8th, the 9th? Somewhere around there, right?
I thought it was the 6th.
It went that long? It was that quick?
Oh no, you're right.
someone
The ninth. You're not the ninth.
someone
Yes, the
gave
ninth.
Coriel like a handful of rounds. And Sonny said something about it. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
won every second of every.
Chris Wilson. That's the name of that judge.
You got to watch that guy, man. You got to watch that.
He's got to explain himself. We talked about it.
He has to be brought into a room with the commission.
And they got to watch the fight with him.
They have to have an iPad there, brought up on a big screen, and say, explain. These are the rounds you gave to Curiel. What work did he do in here in this round that allowed you to give him a 10-9 there? Because Sonny Edwards was popping the jab, boop, 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 out of there. Boop, 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 out of there. He did the Matador thing that Lomachenko did.
Yeah.
Went into the corner, made the guy miss. Again, he can't pop. You got to be.
He's got skills. And he's got a great personality.
What are they talking about? Who's the homeboy from over there? I think that's a big fight over there. I forget how you say his name. I think he's Arab. Is it Guy? Galgai? That kid in the division? Where are they at? I'll find them.
You find it.
What division are they at? What division are they at?
They're flyweights.
They're flyweights?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big fight over there.
Galal Yafai.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Make that fight. I'd like to see it.
See now again, transnational. They don't have him ranked.
Come on, transnational boxing.
They have Sonny. They have Sonny at 3.
Okay.
At 112.
Maybe because that guy's only got like 7 fights.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
What did you think of the ESPN card? Because we're kind of going to go back and forth. Sonny was on the DAZN card on the BAM undercard.
Well, I'm starting to lose my mind with the ESPN.
Yeah,
app.
you had it. You had no. I was in your state.
Yeah.
Watching on a device.
Correct.
Good Wi-Fi. It was okay.
My iPad plays it perfectly.
But your TV does not.
It's an app on the Amazon Fire Stick. So I scrolled down and read every review of it, and it's just hundreds of people shitting on it.
Do you have a smart TV? Or you have to play it through the Fire Stick
play it through the Fire Stick.
Because it seems to be okay on
some smart TVs. I'm trying to get, so like, let's take something like Hulu or Netflix, right? That app exists via my cable. I can say into my remote Hulu.
And it'll pop up.
No Diddy. If I could say ESPN on there, I would be, like you said, I'd be hardwired, but you can't. It's like, of all the apps that give me problems.
Right. So my smart TV, I downloaded ESPN to it.
Right.
To the TV, and it works okay like it would on your iPad or on my device.
Got you.
When I'm in the other room and I have to use like a tertiary device to plug in, it doesn't work at all.
Yeah, my I guess the real low-hanging fruit solution is to just buy a new, really nice TV. My TV is antiquated, but it's nice, and I just haven't had a reason.
Right. Not to talk too much about like our fucking setup in our crib, but
right. But I am trying to say.
But my shit in the living room, we got right after we got married in 2010.
Right.
And it's fucking perfect, and I won't get rid of it because it's
that's
just
kind of what's going on with me. This is antiquated.
Right.
I could theoretically say an upgrade is needed, but it still looks great, and I have everything on. But this app doesn't want to play ball with me. So Robeisy Ramirez, Brandon Ramirez, featherweights. Robeisy had that close fight against our guy in his last fight, and this fight was to.
Yeah, this was to get back on TV.
To get back on TV, stay busy, get some rounds in. Yo, Robeisy Ramirez is really good, man.
Yo,
this might be the best I've seen him look.
Espinoza was the guy we talked about last week, and that's
correct.
Who beat beat. It was a majority decision.
Now they're gonna run it back because they both just won. And
And
I'm loving that fight
Yeah.
that they're running that back.
Ramirez is Robeisy Ramirez is one of those weird guys. I mean, he's got 2 losses, but his first professional fight, the 4-rounder, and he lost a splitter.
Which is very easy to lose a 4-round fight. Some
Right.
people don't get going to the 3rd or 4th.
Right.
Look, guys, you got to understand. We don't mean to sound like broken records, but guys like this that come out of the Cuban program that had a gazillion fights there, fought all around the world against every style. A guy like Usyk, a guy like Lomachenko, a guy like even Baranchek, who is in his 30s and only has what is it? Yeah, 14 fight.
Yeah.
These guys don't do the 20 soft touches. They just leap into things in their first 1, 2, 3 fights. So take the one loss off of Robeisy Ramirez record in that 4-rounder that just it could have really gone either way. And some guys,
and it's a 4-rounder.
It's a 4-rounder. He didn't even bust a sweat till probably the start of the 3rd. And hey, the other fight was really good against Espinosa. And he did well. It was a really good fight.
And Espinosa is incredible.
He's a cheat code.
Right.
So Espinosa is the cheat code. Espinosa is the Sebastian Fundora of the smaller weights.
But he's better. I still think
he's very good. He's really good. But I mean the physical tools as far as the cheat code.
He's a 6'1", 126.
6'1", 126. Guys, it's really, if you talk to a doctor, they'd say, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
And he's throwing 100 punches around in the last 3 rounds of a fight.
Yes.
He's not getting tired. This is a marathon runner.
Nothing he does should be able to happen.
No.
6'1", 126, tons of punches. He can crack. He can put punches together. He can fight on the outside. He can fight on the inside. He goes downstairs. And it's okay. So
a lot to deal with for a Robeisy Ramirez. But Robeisy Ramirez,
it was 7 months in, knockout of the year for me.
Oh, yeah.
7 months in. We got 5 months to go.
Flew
his head. Was doing beautiful stuff.
Changing levels,
changing his stance, squaring up, which you're not supposed to do, and going boop boop and getting out of there.
And then getting back into a bladed stance where the southpaw jab is beautiful.
Beautiful. He's beautiful.
What I'm mostly impressed with
watching there, no doubt.
Right, with Robeisy Ramirez is, and I think I've said this on the show a lot, where I just want to see a guy active and touching his opponent. No diddy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where as soon as Ramirez activity kind of stopped at some point, not expending a lot of energy, but just 1, 2, 3, like it was pad work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so at the end of the last 10 seconds, if you're working with someone to say, all right, give me 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then he'd spin out. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit. That's
exactly what he did.
He just hit him 5 times in a row. Like, what the fuck?
He also does the thing that you and I talked about. Again, this is a long time ago, might even be on the lost episodes. If someone's not giving you anything, take what they do give you. Hit them on the arms. Guys, you think that doesn't hurt when you were a kid playing around with your homies and going, yo, no head,
dead arm,
no body, dead arm.
arm.
You don't think that hurts from a professional? Go to the arm. Go. He's covering up well.
Yeah,
he's covering up well. His elbows are around the body. Well, guess what? 1/4 of your glove is going to get into the body. Not all of it. You're going to get 25% of that glove is going to touch that body. Go up top. The jab was disrupting everything that Brandon Ramirez was
I was going to say, Ramirez fought valiantly. He fought well.
Tough kid.
And he's trying to, defend Robeisy Ramirez. His pivot, and it's from a southpaw stance, is
which is already a nightmare.
A nightmare.
For the other guy.
Is and again, this is rarefied air, and maybe I'm over comparing, but it's definitely has some Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker influence to it, where he pivots out, and it just throws the angle off of the other guy. And then he throws that from the rear hand southpaw left hook
Mhm.
right
Mhm.
into the guy's chops after
Beautiful.
that pivot out. And the guy's like, what the fuck is going on here? He's punching the guy in the side of the head. He's completely off the guy's shoulder on Brandon Ramirez's left side and punching him on top of his shoulder in the side of the head. I was really impressed. And again, take the opponent into consideration.
Of course. But like we said about someone else, there's things to appreciate, even if this isn't a world
Right.
beater. Okay,
Right.
he's not in there with an undefeated young Yuriorkis Gamboa, but pre
Yeah.
getting chinned and or a guy like that. But you can see things that they're working on in the
Right.
gym. You can see that. Be another thing. I know that it stood out to you. Okay, so like you said, Brandon Ramirez covering up well, trying to avoid the
Right.
shots, defensively responsible. The ability for Robeisy to be so accurate where you give him an inch, he takes a yard, he's
Yeah.
splitting the guard in a spot where you feel, I'm defensively in a situation where I'm good, and boop, your head gets knocked back.
Right.
And then
It's the levels. He
is.
changes levels. He's
Because
tall.
you
He
think you're
fights tall.
settled all right, I'm settled here where this shot is coming from, and then it comes
Right.
from another place.
He gets in a crouch and
Yes.
comes up with it. It's again that maybe overstating the pivot that was really impressive.
I
Maybe
don't think you are. I don't think it seems like you brought up Sweet Pea. I was saying this kid watches a lot of younger Lomachenko.
right.
A lot of, and I believe that he's a student. I know that he's a student. I
Yeah.
think he's watching a young Lomachenko, a prime Sweet Pea, stuff that P was doing that shouldn't have been able to.
I'll be honest with you. I'll shout out my guy, Long Island guy, Buddy McGirt pivot.
Buddy was a brilliant fighter.
Right. And off that, he'd move off that front foot and change angles on you.
Great
and then
stuff.
rip combinations and then get back out.
Great stuff. In and out. No diddy.
That uppercut to end it.
Woo!
Honestly, I got nervous.
Short circuited him. Me too.
Yeah.
By the time they cut back to Brandon Ramirez, he had this look of disappointment, like fuck, I got caught. Fuck, you know that when when Oscar punched the ground when Bernard landed that body shot, it was just as much as saying fuck as it was this hurts. It's that mixture.
Well, he went up and then kind of turned and then fell back into the ropes. It was
as he was falling. This wasn't talked about much. Robeisy caught him with a little shot as he was falling. I'm not.
Oh, did he? I didn't even see it.
Yeah, a little. He was throwing the uppercut, left hook, and as the ball was plummeting to his death, he nicks him. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean by that. When you nick someone on the way down, you're just adding insult to injury because then their head's gonna bounce off the canvas.
Yeah, it's
like Arturo Gatti, Joey Gamache. It's like boom, 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 and then his head. It's like all right, I land you one, now you're out. Now I hit you with 2 and 3, and you're dandada, and then your head bounces like a ball. When it hits the mat. This he rips that uppercut, beautiful, close, short shot. Oh, I love it. I love it.
From the crouch, came up right, and it just punched right through him, and right through the target.
Yeah.
That was it. Good night.
If you can set those uppercuts up, start throwing them, guys.
Right. Old school prime Mike Tyson style.
Yes, that is
through the target, and then good night.
That is custom model all day. Right there. That
right through the target.
Yes.
Obviously, we said Rafael Espinosa is going to be next for Robeisy Ramirez.
I love that fight.
Mexican,
I love the rematch.
Cuban
I think they're
rematch.
both,
I like it. Make it right away. It's
going to be at their best. Let's go in December, right? How about September?
See, earlier, right, Vin? We could do October.
2 months. 2 months. No, I said September. What did you?
Oh, September. I thought you said December.
Maybe I did, and I didn't. I was thinking September.
All right, September. I like September.
Yeah, or like mid September. You know what I'm saying? Like the second week, the second Saturday in September.
Sure.
That's 10 weeks, around 10 weeks from now. But like you said, early October, I'm good with that too.
Make it.
I don't think they both want to make it. They both said they're in, so there's no negotiations other than minutia. You know what I mean? I'm the champ. I get more, this. Where is it going to be? Who's paying this? What belts? with sanctioning bodies, et cetera, et cetera, et
Just
cetera.
push it up to the promoters at that point.
Yes, right, and get it done.
And get ready.
Yeah, start
I-
getting ready. They're probably both back in the gym right now.
What'd you think about my guy?
The Dragon,
Dragon came
that's your guy.
swooping in, breathing fire against Teofimo Lopez, who once again acts like he beat the resurrection of Sugar Ray Robinson.
Steve Claggett may be, if we're not talking about great fighters, okay, so
Mhm.
take that off the table. He might be the most best conditioned fighter I've ever seen. If we're not talking about elite guys.
Let's
we're just
talk
talking about a guy.
uppercuts. Steve Claggett was eating uppercuts from Lopez.
Can I ask you a question? Is this Teo's power is nothing at 40? Is this Dragon iron chinned or a little bit from A, a little bit from B?
The Dragon is dragon chinned. That's what we're going to call
He
it.
is.
Yeah,
He's got a dragon chin.
Yeah, he's got a dragon. Yeah.
Forward.
I think it's if column A is Teo's power is not there at 40.
Yes.
It's 9/10 column A, 1/10 dragon chin.
Dragon chin. Agreed. I'm glad you took it to 9. I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say like 6'4".
Listen,
because I'm telling you,
as president of the Steve Claggett
fan club,
I got to keep it a buck.
I'm telling you, this Teo has got nothing at 140 as far as
nothing.
power.
And let's be honest, his power at 35, he had good knockouts, but it wasn't like every fight was a brutal knockout. You know what I mean? There were guys that could take his power.
I really,
he had athletic power. If that makes sense, it's very good.
Absolutely.
It can hurt you if he takes you by surprise because he's so fast twitch.
We are seeing
he's such a good athlete. I just want to put
I can argue here.
Okay.
I can argue here that Teofimo Lopez is Adrian Broner with 2 incredibly blessed, lucky days in his life. One, fighting a one-armed Loma in a fight that I scored a draw. So I'm not expecting anyone to agree with that. He certainly didn't beat him up.
Right. Okay.
He certainly didn't beat up a one-armed smaller Loma. That's not excuse stuff. He got surgically repaired his shoulder, and there's no denying that Loma made Teo's head look like a Pez dispenser in the second half of the
fight. Right.
So you fought a one-armed guy. It wasn't your fault. You showed up. You made weight.
Mm-hmm.
You fought well. You won. Fair and square.
And you took the fight when no one else wanted it.
Fair and square as a young kid. This is 4 years ago. He's only, what was he, 21 or 2?
Yeah.
When he fought Lomachenko? Yeah. Okay. No problem. No one wanted to fight him. You made weight. You were well conditioned. You did what you had to do to get out of there with that W.
Yep.
It's not your fault that the guy was hurt. The same way it wasn't George Kambosos' fault when he was hurt.
Right.
George Kambosos did what he had to do. He beat up a guy that was on the brink of death, but he won.
Right.
Now, you and I believe, we said this Josh Taylor win will look how it looks depending on how Josh Taylor looks moving forward. He gets knocked around by Catterall. That shows me that he fought and won lineal against a past his prime Josh Taylor. This guy's 2 times lineal. 1 against a guy with 1 wing and 1 against a guy past his prime. Other than that, he's looked like he's looked like dog shit in his last 2 fights and 3 of his last 4. Because I think Sandor Martin.
I thought Sandor Martin beat him.
I think he won. Then he fought, I forget who, and sparked him out. It was a comeback fight.
Yeah.
Or not a comeback fight, but he just fought a jag.
Campa.
Pedro Campa. He sparked him out. Okay, who cares? Then he fights Jermaine Ortiz, he looked like dog shit against. He looked like
that was That was like dog shit against cat shit.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
But that's the one where you're like, neither one of these guys should have their hands raised at the end
No.
of this fight. And then so what did he do? What did he do against your favorite fighter in Steve the Dragon Claggett? Everything he does when you're talking about athleticism, without the power that he had at 35, where he would short circuit a couple guys like the
Right.
Comey knockout, he's doing everything wrong. He's
Yeah.
doing Claggett's coming forward, right? As he did the whole fight. You know how the first rule is never pull back, you know?
Right,
He's
yeah.
literally walking in a straight line backwards.
Bro.
If this Claggett had any pop, you know, and I'm not talking about look at his record and da 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 da, because you got to take in consideration who Steve Claggett knocked out in those fights. You know what I mean?
Right.
Tough as nails, this guy, by the way, and the most well conditioned guy that's not a name that I've ever seen. You know, I don't want anyone to run with that. I mean, a guy that I don't really, you don't really know who he is. You know what I mean? This guy,
Look, if
the whole fight coming forward,
I don't know anybody knew who Steve Claggett was.
throwing tons of punches. Hey, guess what? B? He landed. Teo's
face was beat up.
He was beat up. Not busted up, beat up. He was swollen. He was
Yeah,
swollen.
I gave obviously
shots.
gave Teo the fight. I think Teo won. I was not impressed. I'm not as like angry. Like it was weird. Like people on Twitter are angry, like they're angry at Lopez. So like, man, this guy.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. I'm not angry with him.
I posted a question on Twitter before we went on the air, and I'm going to post it to you because we have to do this for the show. A twice lineal guy who hasn't lost since the Cambosis thing, and he was fucked up and ill, you know, when he lost. There's a guy that won 2 in a row, looking like shit. Three in a row, right? The Pedro Campo.
Well, no, 4 in a row. 5 in a row. Sandor Martin, Pedro Campa, Josh Taylor, Jermaine Ortiz, and.
But I thought he did good against Josh Taylor, so I'm not going to count that as.
Okay.
So 2 fights in a row, he's looked like shit. Is that enough to take a guy off your top 10 pound for pound? Forget who it is. Forget Teofimo.
Yes.
So
Yeah, because pound for pound is the basis of it is do I think this version of this guy beats
these
this
9
version,
other guys?
Yeah, beats these 9 other guys, or beats whatever. Beats
If this guy
beats a significant amount of people across weight divisions.
Yes, if this guy was the exact weight as
it's a mythical
Usyk,
matchup.
what would happen? That's what it is. Top
right.
10.
And
guys, for those of you that don't know, that all started with Sugar Ray Robinson because he was so good, and he wasn't getting the accolades he should have. That this mythical thing started happening and saying, "Well, hey, you have the heavyweights are the stars of the world. Joe Louis, et cetera, et cetera. These are the real stars. But this guy and this guy and this guy are just as good, and that's how pound for pound started."
I'd like to see Lopez somehow figure out a way to get in the mix of the other guys that we talked about previously at 140, and hopefully someone can sort it with him, because I've said it, I don't really want to see him again. I don't get excited for his fights. I don't think anybody really gets excited for his fights. I think that's why he's fighting in front of like 3,500 people in Miami. They're trying to find a market for him. I guess I thought he was a Brooklyn guy, but apparently like he was raised in Florida.
I always hear both. I always hear from Brooklyn, New York, and then I see, and he's from Florida. So I don't know if the Bozo dad sounds like he's from New York. So maybe it's a mixture of both, or I stay with my dad in the summers. I'd be curious to know. But yes, I've always heard both. Do you remember? Look, it's premature because he's young, but remember our talk about the Puerto Rican kid, the young kid.
Collazo?
No. The top rank kid that they have building everything around.
Xander Zayas.
Xander Zayas. And we said, look, it's still early, but we don't think he's special. It's I believe that the people who do or did think Teo was special are basing it on 2 performances that I believe I made a mental note to say this to you. Let's think about this. And you're a New Yorker, so you're going to get angry at this, but it's also factual. That fucking boob, Eli Manning, has 2 chips and his brother has 1. You could argue that
No, Peyton has 2. He won with the Colts and the Broncos.
I thought he only won one with the Broncos.
No, he won with the Colts.
How sure are you?
I'm 100%.
100% sure?
Yeah.
Eli Manning having 2 Super Bowls is Teofimo Lopez being 2 division lineal.
Yeah, I don't like that, what you're saying. Eli's a great quarterback.
I would have, if you said let's bet $1,000.
The
Peyton
O-
had one, I would have taken your bet.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah, the 06 season they won. The Colts.
Yeah, I thought they lost. So Teo is
They beat the Bears.
and being from New York,
Mhm.
where the Giants played, and this Eli somehow has 2
Well, they
chips.
play in New Jersey,
This
but
this boob.
they don't even play in my state.
Yeah, and this Teo.
I don't like this Eli slander.
I don't like this Teo. He's
you-
off my. You got
This NFC East up the turnpike, down the turnpike slander from
guys. When
you.
we post
Go
our
Birds.
I'm enjoying this Eli slander. Please continue.
Thank you.
No, they wouldn't ask you, you fucking dick.
Look, if Teo is on our updated, soon to come pound for pound list,
Ain't on mine.
Brandon did me dirty and got him on there.
It
He's
ain't-
out of here for me.
He ain't on my list.
This guy's out of here. Then he's talking about going
think-
to
yeah,
47.
Good. You know what? Look,
We'll get
personally, I think Teofimo Lopez, he had a really good early career. Obviously, we've seen that there's some personal problems. He's wildly athletic, and I think most people thought that they would rein in some of the technique stuff. The technique stuff has gotten worse.
He's regressed.
Yeah, I was at the Richard Comey fight. I mean, that was an incredible highlight reel knockout.
Agreed.
He didn't look good against Nakatani before that.
Correct.
He beat and knocked out Diego Magdaleno. So he had like good wins early in his career. Then, of course,
solid wins. Yeah.
takes the Loma fight, wins. Albeit it's a controversial win, but he still won.
Yeah, all power to him. He took the fight. So that in and of itself,
loses his next fight. After, remember, it was supposed to be on Triller and this.
Yes, and that,
it was just a whole like nightmare. He seems like a nightmare to deal with.
I don't know if it matters here. I don't like him at all as a human being. So it's
no. I feel bad for him in a way because the dad's a sociopath.
Yeah.
Remember the interview with Kriegel where Kriegel like told the dad like get the fuck out of the trying to conduct an interview here.
I absolutely do.
Yeah, they were doing that interview and the dad walked in.
Yeah,
anyway, you can't.
You can see Teo's whole aura changed.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. All right, so we get down to a real pound for pound guy.
To a real elite fighter. So real quick, I don't care what Teofimo Lopez does, who he fights, or if I see him again. If it comes up and it seems interesting, I'll admit it. But let's talk about our guy who jumps spots on our pound for pound. I mean, I can't see him really being. I mean, he's definitely top 5 now. Bam,
100%.
He's definitely top 5 in the world, pound for pound. Said
this guy is.
I love the under. I thought he was going to stop him in 10. What round did it end up being? 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just everything. Look, man. So first and foremost, I just want to talk about the angles he uses.
7th. It was the 7th round. Sorry.
Wow. The angles he uses where he throws that uppercut from an angle, so where the counter's coming back, he's not there when the counter comes back. And then you don't know where he is. Also, the foot feints were brilliant. He had Estrada, who is a great, brilliant fighter, Hall of Famer, first ballot, and proved that he was not shot or old. By the way, guys,
He was game.
He was game. His foot feints to me set up a lot of what ended this fight. He feints up top. It's just brilliant stuff, man. I
don't understand how Estrada, who's beaten everybody.
Yes, Chocolatito. Yeah, he's twice. Whether you
Cuadras.
believe it, yeah, Cuadras, another Hall of Fame.
Bam looked like he was sparring with me in there. Aside from the knockdown, which we give Estrada props, Bam got caught, flash knockdown, hop right back up.
I'm not mad that it happened. I'm not mad that it happened to him. I like how he talked and responded after the fight. He said, "I'm glad I got hit. I don't want it to happen again. I'm not going to let it happen again."
Bro, he's
making elite guys, former champions, current champions. He's making elite guys look pedestrian. That's how good he is. Who else is doing that?
And he's punching their lungs out.
Yes.
I mean, the first knockdown, I can't believe Estrada got back up.
No, I was like, that's it. That's it.
And he just hit him with the left hand, and it just touched him. He went right down.
Yep.
And he's so unassuming looking.
Well, I like when he leading up to the fight, when he really leans into the nerd John and the glasses.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, this guy looks like the Mexican Urkel. It's so much. The last time we saw that was Golovkin, where you're like, yo, who would you pick? You know, and you take a picture of some muscle bound meathead at the gym, or this guy, you know, and it's Triple G in a polo shirt.
I mean, similarly but different. We talked about Robeisy Ramirez, dressed like a
K-pop star. He's got tips.
Or a guy singing at my kid's communion.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's what he looked like. Like
it's equally as unassuming. It's different types of unassuming.
Right.
But it's like the Bam and G have like that nerd thing going along where you'd be a smart aleck to them at the bar and then get clobbered. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, it wouldn't even be at the bar with Bam Rodriguez. It would be at like the Comic-Con.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it would be at the Dungeons and Dragons.
He's a bad motherfucker, this kid.
That's a bad man. He's a mean fighter. He's not. I'm not talking about a person. You know, when what's his name? B that was training Kovalev at the time, Don Turner.
Yeah, Don Turner.
He's the meanest fighter I've seen since I forget who he said.
Yeah. I think he said since like Sandy Sadler or something.
He said someone crazy. It was Sandy Sadler. It was Ernie Shavers. It was someone of that ilk.
Yeah, Don Turner said he said Kovalev's the meanest guy I've ever been around.
In there. You know,
he wants to hurt you.
He really wants to hurt you.
This kid, Bam. I can't articulate.
That's how I feel right now.
How absurdly good he is. At any age, never mind the fact that we're talking about a 24-year-old kid who spans a few divisions comfortably, just moving through them up and down.
Yep.
And winning and retaining championships.
Well, you said on Twitter, we have a 24-year-old Hall of Famer. This is really the last time we've seen something like this is Salvador Sanchez.
Right.
Peaking, beating these type of guys where you're like, this guy's 23 years old. Who has done it? This guy fought a Zuma Nelson at 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Knocking him out.
Yes. And
stopping.
Dog walking them. This isn't, he's fighting everyone and these are nip and tuck fights, because when we said Oscar fought everyone, he did. And some of them were nip and tuck and he won a couple and he lost a couple. This guy's fighting everyone they put in front of him. Every real champ. This guy's, Estrada coming off a Chocolatito win, Ring Magazine champion. This guy's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Saul Rungvisai he dog walked him.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, they were both young, but this was, and again, this is two Mexicans, but this to me was, I wasn't old enough really, but it's reminiscent of, you mentioned him before, Salvador Sanchez and Bazooka Gomez. You know, like
Yes.
he just made it look easy. You know, and again, there was a knockdown, but we talked about this with Tank a few weeks ago. The uppercut cross combination that just effortless that this kid throws.
His rhythm is crazy.
That's a great, yeah.
His it's all you could set it to a metronome.
Yeah.
His rhythm is when so on rhythm, he pivots out of the way of he knows what he's about. He pivots, knows the shot he's going to throw, and knows what would come back and where to be to not get hit by it. He was throwing that uppercut from the he was just putting a little rotate. Talk about this pivot. He was putting just little foot pivots just to get out of the way of that right hand that would be coming behind it. He's not, and when you go to land, he's not there. It's a lot of now you see me, now you don't. And
it's funny. He's a guy. He's all technique. Whereas in Robeisy Ramirez and Teofimo Lopez, we're talking about two guys
athletic. That's
athletic.
Something. B, I wanted to discuss how he's doing these things. Right? Meaning Bam.
Yeah.
You think only people like Roy and these super hyper athletic people, where you see the bozo dance he did to the ring, Teo.
Yeah.
Him dancing. You're like, see, I know that this dude has a rhythm inherently in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Roy and Hamed, where you see this rhythm, Bam doesn't have that visually. It's instinctual, and it's a clock inside. The timing I'm talking about in the metronome, it doesn't look pretty the way that Roy's stuff did. Or I always bring up how when Broner does do stuff, it looks pretty. It visually looks athletic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's who gives a fuck if you don't have the thing inside you that's a destroyer.
This kid is so good and cerebral, so much different than those guys.
Yes, he's the 180 of those guys.
Right. And he's, again, his 180 of Loma, where Loma's flashy and, he's all over the place. And
agreed. As much as I love him, yes, he does do that stuff.
Right.
This kid has a metronome inside of him.
It's just, guys, what we're doing is we're just comparing and contrasting different styles. You know, where we just watch this guy just be methodical and stick to his game plan and know what he's going to do. Maybe we're understating the nerdness, and he's just got it figured out.
Yeah, it's possible.
And he makes a slight adjustment here, moves a little bit this way, and you know what? I can get the punch through the guard right there, and I'm going to do it. And then, of course, you do see the athleticism when he flicks the jab real hard and he turns that up. As soon as he gets the opponent to where the opponent starts to settle in and get comfortable, he picks up the pace again. And does a great job making his opponent uncomfortable. Gallo didn't look comfortable the entire fight, and this guy's jogging in. He's jogging into fire. He's jogging into a fire, ready to put that fire out.
B, I just want to bring up that when you said he does the flash of athleticism, with the up jab, but I still want to bring home the point that there's people that ooze that, and he doesn't, and that's how I know there's something going on. Meaning, there is.
They probably only have to show him like where to put his hands or his elbows or his feet once. He's one of those guys that it sinks right in and bang, bang, bang. His
IQ. You know who doesn't look really athletic? You're gonna say I'm fucking insane, and we're gonna get letters because of it. You know who doesn't look athletic to me when they fight?
Who?
Bud.
I don't disagree with that.
He looks wonky and what's the joke they say? He looks like a giraffe that was just born, or a
baby giraffe.
Baby. Yeah. It nothing looks straight, crisp, and sharp. He's flailing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's arguably my favorite fighter right now. You know,
Right. And then the
he's
opposite is like Canelo, where Canelo is tight.
yes,
It's all technique. It's
yes,
and then like each punch is like where Bud doesn't seem to think about the shots he's throwing too much. It's instinctual more like bap bap bap, and
yes, and he's seeing things and he's taking openings,
yeah,
whereas Canelo is doing what you're supposed to do
right.
by all rules of technique of the sport.
Canelo's chopping a tree down where Bud seems to be taking the branches off one by one.
Yeah,
Canelo
yeah,
chopping at the base,
that's a great, that's a great,
and Canelo seems to be, and Bud seems to be just taking a different approach.
yeah,
But at the end, the result is,
yeah. I'm the best fighter. I'm
right,
the best fighter in the
is the
world.
same.
It's,
It's this kid. I would love to talk to Jesse Bam Rodriguez's trainer, and say, when you guys call something out or tell him what to do you have to ask him more than once to execute?
right. Or do you just yell?
I bet they don't.
You scream downstairs once and he just puts the left
tell
in
him.
the
I
liver.
bet they don't even have to scream at him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I bet they
Yeah.
just tell him, "Hey Jesse, um, his elbows up a little bit. Shoot the shot into the ribs." You know what I mean? "Hey Jesse, I noticed that you're winging your right hand after you throw it. Why don't you tighten that up?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
Done immediately. I think he's the most cerebral fighter currently right now.
right.
Active fighter. He's the most cerebral.
Yeah, that the tweet you referenced before that I put out, I in my life have never seen a guy this young, this good, snatching belts. I said it to you last episode. If he wins this fight, he's a Hall of Famer.
And I agreed with
By
you.
any other standards, by the electors, if this guy was 38 and said, "You know what?" Gave his Lou Gehrig speech, "Today's I'm the luckiest man," and said, "I'm not," they'd go,
First
He's
ballot.
Canastota bound.
Yeah.
This is a treat. This kid is a treat. This is a once in a generational fighter at this weight, which is what we're getting. But the way they're moving him, and he's not taking tons of punishment, that makes him a once in multiple generations. We don't see this.
No.
You know what I mean? If this kid,
think about who I had to bring up. I had to bring up someone
a guy from 40 years ago,
42 years ago.
Right.
That's who I had to bring up when we're trying to find a comparison.
And you made me depressed now, realizing how old we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this
No, but we were too little.
right. What is
Salvatore
right?
Sanchez.
Absolutely. What is you can thank your YouTube. I know Sal Sanchez because of heard of him, read about him,
Of course.
was able to watch him thanks to YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VHS tapes, YouTube,
right.
Whatever.
It's
DVDs.
a wonderful resource. So now I guess Estrada had a rematch clause.
He did, and he said vehemently, he was vehement about taking it. I don't think that's smart. Meaning, first off, one thing I attached to my tweet after I heaped praise on Bam, and said you're watching a special guy here, and he's making great guys look pedestrian. I thought about something that I wrote though. I ended the tweet with, "What a fight." Now, why did I say that? I think because you could see visually with your eyes how good Estrada is. This isn't
sure.
He just had a monster in front of him. David Benavidez, his nickname is the Mexican Monster. I think we might want to switch that over to a guy that already has a nickname. But
right,
I really want to bring home that we talked about Steve Claggett, we talked about Adrian Curiel, we talked about Brandon Leon Ramirez. Bam was in there with a Hall of Famer.
A Hall of Famer
that I believe. Okay, I don't want to attach you to this. Okay, if you don't agree, I believe that Juan Francisco Estrada could still beat really good guys. right now.
I don't disagree. I'm looking now at the division,
Yeah,
and Estrada's ranked in the top 5 in the division.
yeah.
I'm saying he definitely beats the lower top 5 of the division. And
I mean, we're going to talk about Ioka later.
Ioka,
Fernando
yeah.
Martinez, Junto Nakatani is a beast. Kosei Tanaka, Carlos Cuadras, and Estrada already fought. Like those guys could bang it out, no Diddy, and still have great fights. You know
Right.
what I mean? As being guys, we're a little bit past it. You know what I mean? I think Francisco Estrada destroys that Maloney,
Kills him.
kills him. David Jimenez, I think he beats him.
Yeah.
You know, he still beats what, half
That's what I'm saying.
of the guys that so I don't want to hear he beat a faded guy because he's not faded. He
Right.
still beats. I mean, there's really what else is there for us to say? What happens? Where do we go from here? I know the guy Chris Mannix went on this tangent about how he should fight the monster anyway.
Was he confused? I'm not even kidding right now. I tweeted about Mannix. I'll read it on here. And I know I've been, I kind of shit on Mannix quite a bit. But I said, is Mannix a legitimate moron? This is what I said on Twitter.
Oh, I like that. Tweet.
Only 2 weight classes apart. And then I wrote, dude, shut the fuck up. Now, I thought about that afterwards. Was he talking about Ioka or Junto Nakatani, who recently moved up to bantamweight? Is he really talking about Inoue? I mean, obviously, you and I know he is. But is he
post fight with Sergio?
To put it the way you always say it, is this boob really suggesting that a guy who just went from 112 to 115 and back to 112 and back to 115, spanning 2 divisions down there, supposed to move up to 122 pounds and campaign there? Why?
I don't have an answer for him. I mean, Sergio Martinez looked like he wanted to say "shut the fuck up," like you did, like you just did. He's who was there with him? Barry Jones, and then I don't remember the name of the guy that
I know. We never remember
Todd Grisham.
Yeah. He's good. He's pretty good.
Yeah. I like that guy. I like Todd Grisham too, and I don't think you do. But I'm not sure. I don't know if he's confused by who these people are, or if he understands
that you can't just do that.
Yeah.
And when would that happen? He's like, it's only 2 weight classes. When would that happen?
And he also said something along the lines of, "Oh, it's only a couple years." I'm like, yo, you realize Inoue is not the same age as Bam, right?
Right.
Like, what Inoue is going to do is keep chasing the bag.
Right. And probably move up again. Their careers are not.
The trajectory is off.
Is off, right.
It's off.
What a bizarre thing to say. And then the bad part about it is he could have escaped and been like, you know what? My bad. Bad timing. Sometimes we get these fantasy things.
We get excited and we start putting 2 and 2 together. And
he doubled down on it on Twitter. And it was like,
he doubled down on it when they play the like the fight's over, the interviews are over, and DAZN will show you upcoming stuff, and they come back at the very end to wrap the night up.
Yeah,
he tripled down. He cut another promo then. So what he did on Twitter,
he seems like a loose cannon. Get him off my TV.
Yeah, I want him off mine too.
What do we think? We send him over to the island?
He gets one more shot.
Really? I don't know. That bad suit he keeps recycling, that like with the white t-shirt thing underneath.
That bad haircut gets me more than the suit.
Like the early 2000s controlled mess from, you know what I mean? Like
yes, it looks like he's got a Floby.
That's slick it back, bro.
Yeah, like, gimmick it up. Get a tight fade on the side.
And slick it back.
Yeah, get a bouffant. Get your life together.
That's how I wrap my shit.
Right. A bouffant. I saw
Yeah.
it with that big cigar. You think you're some sort of king?
I
King of the
am.
castle, king of the castle.
I was in your state,
You were. God
a-
forbid.
ashing on your grounds and
That's what you
blowing
were.
smoke.
Very, very disrespectful. Look, we could do 2 hours on Bam every week.
I
We got
know.
to
I
move
think we
on.
should do a BAM episode.
We should. What do you think is next for him, B? What do you do?
So that's what I was going to ask you. I think there is a fight, and I guess we should just jump into it on Sunday in Tokyo. Kaz Ioka, William Martinez. I think Bam, right?
Yeah, look, Conceicao is really good. He beat Donnie Nietes, who's was
Yeah.
around forever and really good. He beat Francisco Rodriguez. He beat Josh Franco. Isn't that Bam's brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wants his lick back.
That's what I'm saying.
There's drama there.
And if he can get past William Martinez, but if William Martinez beats Ioka, I think they're ranked 2 and 3 in the division, something like that. 3 and 4.
They're going back and forth on what this kid's real name is. They have him as Fernando Martinez on like 3 different places, and then someone had it as William. Look, guys, he's young. He's from Argentina. Those guys can crack down there for whatever reason, whatever's in the water. Jerwin and Cajas has been around forever. He beat him twice. That's who Kaz Ioka is fighting. When we are talking about Sunday, is it our Sunday? Is it Sunday morning? We gotta, they're not
Yeah.
good with that.
Right.
They're not good with that.
Okay, so the last few fights, DAZN has said that it's our day. So it's going to be on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
And when? Morning, I guess.
I'm assuming morning. Yeah.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah.
That's odd.
All right. So who are you picking in that one?
Yeah, I gotta go Kaz Ioka. But I think it's a good fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and pick Martinez in the mild upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we'll see. I think the winner of this fight will eventually, if Bam sticks around,
Yeah.
junior bantam, they will meet up. If Estrada, says, "Hey, I'm running it back."
Right.
So right now, Bam's locked in with Estrada. I'm going to go ahead and pick Martinez. I think he's going to beat Ioka.
Wow. I always like an upset special when either one of us call.
Right.
So let's go. We went backwards. So let's go to ESPN, guys. It's July 4th weekend. So
bro. I don't think this is weird. I don't think anyone's going to watch these fights.
No, they're going to be sloshed and
right. People are
like
traveling.
Imagine this Irish Billy, what he's going to be like on a Saturday night.
Gonna have a Roman candle sticking out of his ass.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, passed out face first and some fucking, some cake.
You've always talked about how much you love Top Rank. Moves there, guys, and again, we're getting to see Keyshawn Davis again on TV, which I think is great. He's fighting Miguel Madueno. Guy's got 33 fights, 28 KOs. He's got some pop. Who he's beating, I don't know, but guess who he lost to? You know who he lost to?
I don't.
Who is your favorite fighter? The Dragon.
He lost to Stevie Claggett?
He lost to Stevie Claggett. So I cannot pick in good conscience anyone here but Keyshawn Davis. What you like Keyshawn in this fight, B? I mean,
I like Keyshawn in this fight. I think
it's 10 rounds,
Yeah. They're moving him with guys, like you said, with a lot of experience. I mean, this guy's got a ton of experience.
Yeah, 33 fights, 28 KOs. Guy knows guy can handle himself.
Never been knocked out.
Yeah, knows what he's doing in there.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Davis stops him. That's a huge statement, regardless of what, where
it's a 10 rounder.
Yep.
Let's see.
I think Miguel Madueno's corner stops it late. Stops it late. I mean, late, 9 or 10.
He's 25 with like a million fights.
Yeah.
Okay. To your point, who was he fighting? He lost to the Dragon.
He lost to this Steve Claggett, your guy.
He lost to Jezreel Corrales, who I've never heard of.
Irish
And then-
Billy. Is there anything on this? Keyshawn Davis, Miguel Madueno. I think Irish Billy's dead.
I think he
No,
died.
not dead. Give me a second.
Agreed. He's about to do the thing where you have a second career.
Yeah.
Where you go, oh, he had 3 or he had 2 Hall of Fame careers.
Right.
Like Duran.
Yeah.
Duran has like 3
Right.
Duran at lightweight is in.
Right.
But if he never goes up a pound, he's
Right.
in.
He's in.
Then he goes
Exactly.
up, and then he can be again. Then he goes up again and beats Iran Barkley.
And that's Floyd too.
Yeah.
As much as he pissed a lot of people off, people say
He
left a lot of
arguably
guys
has 3 Hall of
3
Fame
careers.
careers. Yeah.
The
All
third
right.
act is the most annoying act of Floyd.
Yeah, it is.
Frustrating, not annoying. Frustrating.
All right, guys. I think that's it.
That's it. You
Give
can
me,
find
socials.
me at TequilaB24 on Twitter, at I_no_that_kid on IG, at KOTB Boxing on IG, at KOTB Podcast on YouTube, and you can write us at KOTB Boxing at gmail.com or KOTBboxing at gmail.com, not at KOTB Boxing.
Billy's doing good stuff where we're putting up clips,
Yeah.
where was, short clips, which with today's short attention span theater is a good thing that we were talking about. I think Haney in the last clip. Try to you and I try to post them on our IGs. We definitely do on what's the Knock 'em Out the Box IG again? KEOTB Boxing.
Boxing, yeah.
Yeah, get on there, guys. You know what I'm saying? We know how many people listen, and we know how many people are on there, and the numbers don't add up. Get on there
Also,
and follow us.
guys, rate the show.
Yeah, rate and review and all of that stuff. It really helps us, and it will help the show move.
You know what? If you guys give us a 5-star review and an actual review, even if it's bad, we'll read it on air as long as it's 5 stars.
Did we discuss this?
No, yeah, I don't like that, Billy.
As long as
reviews for us.
No, it's a good star, which feeds the algorithm. If they want to write something nasty, it doesn't mean anything.
I don't want that. I don't want nothing nasty.
Please direct your nastiness to the Mussolini.
Right, to Benito Mussolini, not to our.
DM me and I'll read those.
All of that stuff helps, guys, as far as algorithm and
DM me insults.
Helps make the show bigger, and then that could lead to doing more stuff with the show. You know what I'm saying? I am at BoxCutterPazzi on Instagram, at Vinnie_Paz on Twitter. Check me out at jmtstore.com for everything music related and merch related. Guys, do me a favor when you go over there at jmtstore.com and sign up for the mailing list. It's great and it helps us out. We respect the inbox, but we're always sending out discount codes, new merch, new music. You'll be on top of all of that. And we're incorporating stuff from the podcast, Knock 'em Out the Box and Broad Street Breakdown over on the JMT store too. So go visit us over there. And we got to talk about pressing up some more shirts soon for Knock 'em Out the Box.
Sure do.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you all next week. Be good.
Say goodnight, Billy.
Oh, yeah. It's July 4th weekend. Be safe out there, man. Be careful with the drinking and the driving. Use the Uber, blah, 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 blah. Go ahead, do it again. I like how it ends.
Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.